I didn't click the media
Intro.
asset. Yeah. Well, here we are. That's our cold open.
Nailed it.
Why is this not working?
This is tech support.
What the heck is?
No,
I'm clicking the.
I think Dad has made some excellent progress today.
Your dad, he's a fun guy, right?
And I love him so much, and I think he's the greatest dad in the world.
Welcome back to Working on the Dad Pod. Ethan's gonna try and do it, but he's been in Strugglesville since we started this recording. So I'm just gonna take it away.
Yeah.
This week I'm actually on vacation, and so we are doing one of our fun episodes, but we are power ranking holidays. Now, these can be real holidays, or they can be made up fictional holidays. However you want to rank your holidays, up to you. But we are going to list our top 5 holidays, go through them, skip the story time, just skip working on the dad bod, listen to last week's episode. It's all the same. Ethan changed his shirt, wants to show it off. Yep. Ethan, shows your shirt.
So this is a special holiday shirt. As you all are listening to this, it is July 3rd. This is the weirdest yet most American shirt I own. I like to bust it out on some of those good American holidays. The eagle is in fact looking at you. You are making eye contact with this eagle. And I got this shirt when I was closer to 25. I am 36. And, it fits again. I'm not going to say it still fits. Yeah. I've had to do a lot of work to make it fit again, but I do like to wear it on these America Pride days. So
yeah.
So we're gonna
dig it. That is a great reminder to like and subscribe to our podcast, because you can only get this podcast on July 3rd, like Ethan said, if you are watching on YouTube. July 4th, everywhere else, wherever you get your podcast, like and subscribe.
That's right.
But July 3rd on YouTube.
Yeah. So, like Alex mentioned, we are power ranking our holidays. This is unlike some of the other episodes where we've done drafts before, and there's no real winner or loser here. However, I am going to win. But we are going to each give you our top 5 holidays, and we'll explain why we feel that way. And we're going to go from 5 to 1. So I'll kick it off. My number 5 in the power rankings is a kickoff in and of itself. It is actually Memorial Day, because it is the start of summer. It's a long weekend. I like it because in where I live now in DC, in the DC area, pools begin to open. That has never been something I was aware of as a thing growing up in Los Angeles. Then in college in Miami, I just thought pools were open all the time. But it is a moment in the year where things are starting to get warmer. Summer's kicking off. It's a long weekend. There's barbecues. There's usually a good amount of sports on. You're drinking outside. You're having time with your family. Lots of people are usually just ready to hang after the grueling winter and colder spring months. So I want to kick off this power ranking with the kickoff itself, Memorial Day. That's my number 5.
I think that's not a bad pick. How do we want to do this? If I have something that you say ranked differently than you, do I go ahead and mention that, or do I just go to my 5?
You can say that it'll come up later in your ranking. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
It'll come up later in my ranking.
Okay.
My number 5 is Christmas. Now, Ethan's Jewish, so this probably isn't going to make his top 5, and that's okay. It's number 5, and I'm going to be honest, I would guarantee that there's probably a lot of people out there that think this is low, right? Because for a lot of people out there, Christmas is peak, right? And there's a lot of things I like about it, right? A lot of family get-togethers, a lot of time with the family, a lot of joy on my kids' faces, a lot of fun from them. We have some fun, weird traditions within our family. Like we got a lot of things specifically related to Christmas Day, but we got one that is my father-in-law always takes the entire family out to Benihana, because usually my brother-in-law is visiting, and it's my wife's grandma, my mom, my mother-in-law, my father-in-law, my brother-in-law, the kid. We pack in extra seats to fill the whole Benihana table. But mostly it's all of that. It's the get-togethers. It's multiple family meals. We host something. My mother-in-law hosts something, and just a lot of joy. But the reason it is not higher for me is it definitely has drawbacks and things that grate on me, right? I think first and foremost, I do think it is a religious holiday. You know, it's not one of those things that I'm going to go on a rant or throw a bumper sticker that says "Keep the Christ in Christmas." But I'm also like, you know, and this will come up later for other ones, but like sometimes I feel like maybe the focus isn't there. And or not that the focus isn't there, but the focus is like so consumer heavy, right?
Sure.
I like to fancy myself a minimalist in stuff, and just there's so much stuff. And the second part of it is I can get down with the Christmas Carol. I can get down with Christmas music, but it dominates. And these days it dominates from like Halloween. I feel like growing up, it's like Black Friday was the start of the Christmas season. And now I'll walk in Home Depot for some screws in like October, and they've got the Christmas displays up, and music starts going after Halloween, like we've forgotten that Thanksgiving exists. And I got beef with that. But yeah, I think it has some drawbacks, and I'm just like, I like it, but I also dread it coming around a little bit each year. So that's why it's at 5 for me.
Yeah. I think that's a great spot for it for all the reasons you said. You look, I'm Jewish. I don't celebrate Christmas, but man, do I love December 25th, the day off from work. And being Jewish, I usually have no problem being the one in the office or back in the telework days covering the emails and the phones in that week between Christmas and New Year's, which is usually everybody else is off doing their thing. It's quiet. You don't have to work very hard. And I get to use my leave at a more convenient time that works for me. So, it's
I think it's when I was in grad school, and I was working as a graduate assistant and worked at a Catholic university. And Catholics have more holidays than non-Catholics. Like, they got some random days that it would just be like, hey guys, there's no work on Friday because Feast of the Ascension. And that's when I learned that Feast of the Ascension was a thing, and that people took off for it. And I was like, fantastic. I love the Feast of the Ascension.
Who doesn't?
I'll see you on Monday.
Yeah. I'm feasting on this Ascension right now.
Yeah, right.
You know what I mean? Yeah. All right. Cool. So why don't you go with your 4?
All right. So 4, a bit of a curveball, but birthday. Okay. Obviously, this is not a set day on the calendar. It's different. 366 options out there for you. But birthday. Like the birthday, obviously, as you get older, it too kind of has some drawbacks, because you start thinking a little bit more about your age or your mortality or something like that. But it's nice. I'm not the kind of person that does a birthday month. I don't even really like a huge big show for my birthday. But I do, as a dad who, spends a good amount of his time focusing on the needs and wants of his children, and also the needs and wants of his wife. And that's not to say that she doesn't consider mine, because I don't want to convey it that way. But sometimes it is nice to just have a day that is all about you. And I keep it low key, and I'm not trying to be a little prince, but I do enjoy, okay, what do you want for dinner? And nobody can tell me otherwise, right?
Okay.
Obviously, you get that a little bit on Father's Day too.
Sure.
You get those same kind of vibes, but I think the birthday is just more universal. Like, I'll be honest, you heard in our last episode about the week that my wife was in Alaska, that covered Father's Day, right? Father's Day, I was on day 9 of solo dad duty. I was not
Sure.
it was like, all right, guys, for Father's Day this year, I'm taking us out to get bagels because that's what I want to do for Father's Day, right?
Right.
And then, yeah. So, yeah, the birthday is birthday's
Okay.
my number 4. How about you?
I like that. I think birthdays are fun. I think that's good. I didn't even consider a birthday, but we will get to that later. So my number 4 actually bookends with Memorial Day. It is Labor Day, and I'm going to tell you why. It's another long weekend, and most importantly, it kicks off the most important thing to me as a sports fan, college football. I am at an all-time.
I don't have it on my list because I thought it was duplicative of Memorial Day, and I was wrong. And I will sit here in my wrongness and own it.
Yeah, it is. It is the kickoff of college football season where nothing can go wrong. Leading up to that day, the hype train. I am all aboard.
Yeah.
In mine and Alex's case, Miami's going to win the national championship, and we have not been proven wrong on that day. Although a couple of years ago we did when we played week 0 and we started 0 and we were actually 0-1 before Labor Day. That's an anomaly, but it also happens to be usually the weekend around my second daughter's birthday. So it's just like it's a big weekend for us. I love it. And so it kicks off football season of hopes and dreams and belief.
Yeah. What's your 3?
So, my number 3 used to be a number 1 for me, but it's actually Thanksgiving. Now I know that can be a problematic answer from all the history behind the holiday. I get it. I don't care about that. It is the time of year that I usually go home with my family to Los Angeles, where I get to see my friends from childhood. I get to spend a lot of time with my parents. I get to spend time with my brother. Ever since I went away to college, Thanksgiving has been the time when my dad makes all of our favorite foods from growing up that essentially either are different nights of the week leading up to Thanksgiving or end up becoming the sides in addition to some traditional parts of Thanksgiving. I'm going to all my favorite childhood restaurants. Shout out to In-N-Out Burger, some other local stuff to Los Angeles, but it is the time that connects me to my roots. And, by spending that in Los Angeles, as opposed to in the DC area, we usually get one beach day while we're there. It's nice. It is my little week of Southern California warmth in what can be a cool and cold DC November. So, again, sorry about what we did to the indigenous people. And by we, I mean people who were here long before me that I am not related to in any way. But I love it. I love Thanksgiving.
No, it's a good pick. My number 3 is your number 5. It's Memorial Day.
Okay.
And I could see swapping it out with Labor Day for the college football reason. But if, let's say you're not a college football fan and, you're just looking at, Memorial Day versus Labor Day, I like the start versus the end, right? Memorial Day almost feels like a little sadness of like, okay, a last hurrah before, here kids have been in school for weeks, right? I know some places further north have a coworker who lives in New York and their school starts Labor Day, September. Had their last day yesterday or something, late June. Different schedules, but for me, it's okay, we're back in the grind. And then on a personal note, Memorial Day to Labor Day, in my current job, we do have summer Fridays where we get out at 2. And I usually get the summer membership to the local golf course. And so the start of Memorial Day is like, man, I can play 9 holes a lot of Fridays, right? I hop out at 2, go play 9 holes. And so it's really the start of me enjoying that time and enjoying just sort of the summer season, wrapping up with the hectic nature of the school year. Obviously talking about maybe I didn't like save myself with the camp stuff. Probably going to think about that a little deeper next summer to make sure the summer is a little bit more relaxing, but it just means vacations and a little bit more flexibility and like everything's a little more easygoing. So Memorial Day, kicking that off with a nice long weekend, plus all the things you said, grilling, hanging out with your family, drinking some beer. It's a great.
Good choice. Yeah, it's definitely deserving of that 3 spot, I think.
Yeah, my number 2 is you talk about kicking things off. Memorial Day kicks off summer. New Year's Day is the kickoff holiday. New Year's Day is the kickoff holiday, right? And let's be fair. This is a New Year's Eve, New Year's Day thing, right?
Sure.
And what I love most about this holiday is its absurdity, right? Like I am not in here like, oh my God, I just love the traditions and watching the ball drop and Dick Clark, now Ryan Seacrest. Like, no. We picked a day on the calendar and said, this is a new year. And on this day, we're going to change all of our habits. And this day is now significant. And this day means a new beginning. It's people literally celebrating like we got through this shit together. Right? And when we're younger, obviously, it means going to some open bar that's insanely overpriced, throwing ourselves through people like we're fullbacks in Nebraska's triple option from the 90s, and just convincing ourselves it's a great time. And maybe it was because we were having fun and we were with friends. It was. But like convincing ourselves that was the move to be with those friends kind of thing. But even as we get older, it's just like one of those where it's like, man, I got a day off. I'm supposed to have a good time, and I'm supposed to celebrate because it's a day on the calendar that happens to be 1/1.
Yeah. Right? So, yeah. Okay. I think that's I like your reasoning. So my number 2 is what I'm going to refer to as St. Ethan's Day. What is that? Well, it is what we traditionally call Columbus Day or Indigenous Peoples Day. And the reason I love it is because a lot of times it's my birthday and it gives me a 3-day weekend on my birthday, but it's the most special kind of 3-day weekend because of its problematic nature. My kids go to school. They don't close for it anymore, really, which is great. And it's a federal holiday that my wife has to work, so she gets double pay. And I get the day to myself to spend my birthday how I want. And it is pretty much the most sacred day of the year for me. I love it. Sure. And again, I don't care for Columbus. I don't care for the history behind it. It is a 3-day weekend.
I did not think that was the next word out of your mouth. I thought, I don't care for Columbus. I don't care for Indigenous people. Like, I was like, what is he about to say? What is are we about to get canceled? Okay.
No, we're not getting canceled. We are simply just saying that for some reason, when you have an October 9th birthday, it is sometimes the second Monday of October. And even if it's not, it is just a day that I've decided I get to celebrate my birthday on that day the way I want to, even if I'm doing a birthday celebration on another day that happens to be my birthday. So I call it.
That's a pretty clutch. Obviously, I know from experience that you can have the inverse of that and have Yom Kippur birthday.
Yeah, it's rough.
Where you can't eat all day and then get to be a glutton at night kind of thing, which is great. I have the misfortune of where my birthday is placed last day of March, where sometimes I get an Easter birthday, I never have like an extra special like day off day. But you know, I from time to time, however often, do get an Easter Sunday birthday, and that we have a friend of ours, and I've known other people that have like Christmas birthdays or something like that on like a fixed day. And I'm like, I'm not jealous of you. I'm not jealous of your special day turning into something totally different. So yeah, that one's a low key one. To share.
So like I have spent Columbus Day, St. Ethan's Day, Indigenous Peoples Day on the golf course while, you know, just playing 18 by myself because you know what? Like that's what I want to do, you know?
Yeah.
So it's great. Yeah. Yeah.
That's a great move.
Yeah. All right. Number one. This is going to shock some people when you hear it. It is Veterans Day. And I'll tell you why. Got nothing to do with veterans. It's the day I became a dad. My daughter was born on 11/11. It is always a federal holiday. Another one that my wife has to work and my kids go to school. So I get to celebrate my dad-iversary by myself, doing whatever I want. But it seemed a little bit selfish to say that my favorite day was the one on my birthday, but we're a podcast about being a dad. So it's actually a meaningful day for me because it's the day I became a dad. And I love it.
No, that's pretty sweet. I mean, I forgot to say that about Memorial Day, right? Like the same kind of thing of like, it's not because of the veterans. Like Memorial Day, one thing neither of us said about Memorial Day, kind of like, you know, where I was talking about how like the meaning of Christmas isn't necessarily focused on the origin. Like every now and then you'll hear somebody like once a year, you'll get somebody like doing a thing like moment of silence for all those who like died for the country on Memorial Day. And you'll get some people doing the like salute our veterans on Veterans Day, like probably more on Veterans Day, but like Memorial Day is just like memorializing the Weber Grill. Like that's what it feels like it's become.
Yeah.
Memorializing the Weber Grill and the Coors Light and the Bubba Burger. Like,
it's like, in this person's memory, I'm doing what they fought for, enjoying myself. You know what I mean? Like just let me go. And with Veterans Day, I mean, you know, both my grandfathers served in World War II. I worked for the VA for 2 years. I have great respect for veterans. I love it. But it's my dad-iversary. And that's what it is.
Sure. Yeah, my kids weren't born on any special days like that. So and frankly, their birthdays, you know, can have a good time on them. But sometimes they're a little bit of pain with the birthday parties and whatnot, you know, like just being like, okay, I'm more of a host and a party planner and doing stuff and running around all day than like having a great, fantastic time. My number one is Thanksgiving. All right. There you go. So shout out to both of us. We opened the door for made up holidays and like you kind of made up some holidays, but like you didn't pull Festivus out or something like a truly fictional holiday. Because I was just like, I'm not going to rank one of those. Like, I don't have strong enough opinions. But Thanksgiving to me is all the things I said about Christmas at 5, like all the good stuff, family get-togethers, right? Lots of sort of fun traditions. I like that the theme is on gratitude, right? Yeah, there's bad stuff that happened around Thanksgiving. Don't get me wrong. But like, I don't think of while I think Columbus Day is problematic for like similar reasons, I never have viewed this is wrong. Like I think about the bad stuff that the Pilgrims did. Don't get me wrong, but like I've never viewed Thanksgiving as like a celebration of the Pilgrims and more as like a celebration of gratitude and what we're thankful for. And so like I like gratitude. I think it's awesome. And I like a holiday where you can just kind of be grateful for the people and things around you, because sometimes, especially when life is stressful and work is stressful, I find it really easy to remember, compared to some people, how good my family has it. And Thanksgiving is always a really good level set for me on that. And has those good things at Christmas, but it doesn't have the insane consumerism. It doesn't have, like the loss of focus on what the holiday's about. Now, I will docket that I think like the general zeitgeist has glossed over Thanksgiving because people are going to go, consumerism, what about Black Friday? No, that is Christmas infringing on Thanksgiving's rights. That is Christmas
100%.
shopping that is literally now starting on Thanksgiving.
Right.
Like it is not, it is like previously when it was just starts on Black Friday, it was like, okay, Thanksgiving's over, it's time for Christmas. Now it's like, there was a night because my wife and I just got in a new apartment and we needed a TV that we did go to Thanksgiving dinner to stand outside of Best Buy on Thanksgiving. Like our first year that we moved to Florida. And like, I was like, this is awful because like this isn't a Thanksgiving line. This is a Christmas shopping line. So we can save $300 on a TV.
Right.
But yeah. Thanksgiving to me, usually my favorite answer. Just because it's not about, there's no gift giving, you can watch the Macy's Day Parade, like set up a couple TVs. One's got the parade, it's got the dog show. Another TV's got the NFL football. I'm thankful for my family, especially my son, who gives another vote towards the football so that I don't feel like the outcast. It's like, I want to watch football. That's why they put the football on the TV, is to watch the football and be like,
that's why.
But the dog show, I'm like, we have a dog right there.
Yeah. What about the dog show?
Football team right there. Anyway.
Yeah. No. Like I said, for the longest time, Thanksgiving was my number one. And then, just becoming a dad, it just was like, when are the days that I get to myself? And then I realized my birthday and my daughter's birthday. So it is great. So, this was a fun one. Obviously, since you're already there and this is clearly happening in real time, I see that you're enjoying your vacation. And
Yes. Thank you.
Yes.
For my own house.
Yes. So everybody, we hope you have a wonderful July 4th. Where is July 4th on your holiday power rankings? And let us know what you thought of ours and our reasoning. And, they say that Festivus is for the rest of us, but neither of us mentioned it. So there you go.
All right. Ethan riff forever. See what happens.
Well,
all right.
You know me. I don't want to get rid.
Thanks for working on the Dad Pod with us. Any resources that we mentioned during the show will be in the show notes. If you have questions, thoughts, or just want to talk with us, the best place is in the comments on YouTube. We're on YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, and Threads at Working on the Dad Pod, and on Twitter at Working on Dad Pod. Following and subscribing is always appreciated. Please rate and review us. That helps get the show to new people. And if you know a dad who would enjoy our show, sharing it with them is a huge help to them and us. Have a great week.